Hi everyone! In today's Bake Along session, I'll be teaching you how to make National Day cookies. So grab your baking items and come and bake with me. Let me introduce the ingredients that we'll be using for today's bake. So first we have 1 cup, this is 227 grams of unsalted butter left at room temperature. And we have about 200 grams of white granulated sugar. This is 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract, 1 large egg. This is 270 grams of all-purpose flour. This concoction right here is half a teaspoon of baking powder, a quarter teaspoon of baking soda, and half a teaspoon of Himalayan pink salt, but you can use any other salt that you'd like to use. We also have this 3 tablespoons of strawberry powder, and I'm also including this red food coloring to just make the red a little bit more intense later on. I've preheated my oven to 200 degrees Celsius. Right now I'm going to prepare the flour. So I'm going to use this all-purpose flour, and I'm going to mix in this little concoction of baking soda and baking powder and salt. So the purpose of baking powder, baking soda, this is all actually leavening agents, right? So you want the cookie to rise a little but not too much. So I'm just going to stir it in, mix it in. Yeah. Okay, and then I'm going to be using this sieve to actually just make sure that everything's mixed in properly. This is an extra step that I like to do. Most people just whisk the baking powder and the baking soda together, but I find that this step actually ensures that all the different parts get mixed quite well together.
Many Tic Tacs later.
So I'm going to put the melted room temperature butter into this bowl, okay, which fits nicely into my stand mixer. If you don't have a stand mixer, it's okay. You can just use a normal hand whisk. Alright, and I'm also going to include all my sugar in as well. So the action of the sugar, when you actually beat it, it helps to cut through the butter. So it helps to make a more airy and light mixture.
A few inches later.
I've allowed this to whisk for about a minute or so. Normally you can use the other head attachment, but I like to use this whisk pedal head just to introduce more air to it. So I'll just go on and add the vanilla extract and the egg. Then we'll just let this whisk for one more. When you first start, you should whisk slowly, alright, so that it doesn't splatter around. And you can just slowly start to increase speed.
Few moments later.
This has been going on for about 30 seconds. So I'm gonna open this up, and you'll notice if you come and take a look that when you use a machine like this, lots of all these the vanilla extract, it won't be mixed in properly. So it's a good practice to actually just scrape it down so that it does mix together. Okay. And I also like to do this. Just get this out so that it is, everything is inside this bowl. So right now I'll just add the flour into this mixture. Alright, so when you first add this, a beginner's mistake would be to just pop it back in and let it, mix. But then you'll be covered in flour after that. So for the first, minute or so, use your spatula to just fold the flour in, so that the flour is not gonna be flying around. I'm gonna gonna be using this whisk paddle head again. You can use the other paddle head, but I just like to use this one. Okay. It doesn't splash around that much. Okay, so I'm just gonna do this until I don't see any streaks of flour around. Right now there's still flour in the bowl, so I'll just wait a while more. So right now I'm going to transfer about half of this batter over. Okay, so just transfer roughly half, and this is going to be the white of the cookie. What we have here, we are going to put the strawberry powder. Okay, so we'll proceed to add the strawberry powder in. It smells nice. So there are a few different types of strawberry powders out there. This one is used for bubble tea drinks and all your nice drinks. But you can also use freeze-dried strawberries and just blend them up in your blender, and it will work too. In fact, that's actually even better than this. Okay, so I'm just gonna mix this up.
Later.
So if you see this color, it's a nice pink color. If you could only smell it, it smells like strawberries. So this is not red enough for me, I think. Okay, so I'm just gonna add a little bit of this red coloring. And I'm gonna use my measuring spoon. This is about a 1/4 teaspoon. I'm gonna use half of this first, okay, because I don't know how intense it's gonna be. Okay, it's not really half, but let's see how it will turn out.
More moments later.
So a bit too pinkish, I'm just gonna add a bit more.
Eventually.
I guess it's time for me to scrape the sides down, because there's still some food coloring that's not mixed in. I've added about half a teaspoon more of this red food coloring, and really it's up to you how intensely red you'd like this cookie to be. I think this looks red enough to me. I know it's not really red, but I kind of like this fuchsia pinkish tone that is going on. Alright, so now we can go on to shape and prepare this for the oven. Yay! So I've brought out my baking tray and I've lined it with some baking paper. This is non-stick baking paper so that the cookies won't stick. And now we see the two parts. This is the white portion, and over here we have our red. Okay, so I'm using a teaspoon because we don't really need that much. So we take about 1 teaspoon of the white. Okay, and my suggestion is we'll just keep rolling the white dough balls first before we move on to the red, because our hands will get kind of dirty after we touch the red dough balls, okay? Make sure your hands are cleaner.
Soon after.
So now I'm going to grab the red batter and roll it into equal size dough balls. So you can see that the dough right now is kind of mushy, and you can actually put it in the fridge for a while to chill it. Okay, but for me, don't have time for that. I'm just gonna roll it first. Now that I have prepared the dough balls, I'm gonna combine them together, and hopefully they will turn into something that resembles our national flag. Okay, so you just put the two dough balls together, and just with a gentle hand, just roll them together like this. Yeah, you can get something like this. It's a completed product. Just put it. Okay, so really, if you prefer a more intense red color, by all means, please use more food coloring. Alright, and yeah, yours will turn out nice, I'm sure. Okay, but I kind of like the fuchsia pink. So I'm done combining the two doughs together, and it does feel a bit too mushy, so I'm going to put this in the freezer for about 5 minutes before I pop this whole thing into the oven. So I'll see you after our cookies come out of the oven. So this is the final outcome. As you can see, the red coloring has deepened a little, and if you can, try to make nice swirls like these so that it's a bit of an artistic marble effect. You can always switch out some of the strawberry powder for matcha powder, and you can even put cocoa powder in. So you can just mix and match for the desired flavor that you like. And I think now I'm just going to try one to show you how it turns out. So this somehow turned out a little heart shape. Okay, this is how it looks like at the back. It's kind of a thin cookie. I baked it at 180 degrees for about 10 to 13 minutes until the sides are kind of a little brown, right? And let's see how it cracks. It's a soft cookie. And if you want it to be a little more crispy, go ahead and just toast it up a little more, but be careful not to burn it. Okay, so I'm going to try this. I think you'll like it. Happy National Day!